Hello everybody, welcome to another review. Today I'm going to be reviewing the brand new album by The Last in the Pie, the second album from the Pyre. So last year they released their debut Prelude to Ecstasy, which a lot of people quite liked, to be honest, and I was not one of those people. I, matter of fact, remember the comments on my top 50 worst albums of 2024, and the main album mentioned, I put it on there, was the fact I put Prelude to Ecstasy on there. I just didn't care for the album. There wasn't really anything I'd want to go out my way to listen to, and personally, I just found it really weak. I just couldn't get into it. I feel like the band just kind of has this. They kind of have inspiration from bands like Florence and the Machine, ABBA, but then they go into kind of this more, not classical, but just kind of like baroque pop direction, I suppose, and it just wasn't really feeling it. Even Wolf Alice, I kind of say when they went into baroque pop with the clearing, they came out this year, there's elements I enjoyed more, but we're going to see how this one holds up, because you never know, they might improve upon their previous release, they might get worse. Let's find out. Honestly, I will safely say that I didn't actually think this album was as bad as Prelude to Ecstasy, which is surprising because I didn't really know how I'd feel. I think it's because The Last in the Pie just is completely out of the sound of stuff I normally listen to, but I just remember it being plastered everywhere in the UK. Oh, listen to this band, Prelude to Ecstasy's out. And it gets #1 in the UK just out of nowhere, which definitely I'm going to easily ride the tail that this is probably one of the most industry plant artists I know, and the funniest thing about it is the fact that the band doesn't like being labelled it, despite that they fall under it and under fair use. There is just no way in hell they're not an industry plant band. But you never know, you can still have good industry plant bands. It doesn't really matter if you are or not. I feel like if you're just trying to deny it, it's a bit awkward because it's obvious. But with From the Pyre, I can actually say I enjoy the direction this one takes a little bit more than Prelude to Ecstasy. First of all, a lot more of the songs are a bit more, well, it has the baroque pop sound. It does feel like it actually has a bit more of an interesting charm to it. I think the upbeat nature of it kind of gives me a bit more of a sunny, warm feel to it, which I think at least is more interesting than kind of having this, what their debut album did. There was not really anything like that, but it kind of just reels me in a little bit more of just kind of this nice, calm energy. It's basically what I say is inoffensive, is the best way to describe it, because I'm not really hooked onto it, but at the same time I can't really fault it and say it's a bad sound. I wouldn't really say anything on this album actually sounds that bad. I definitely think this is a step up, but from what I've seen, I think a lot of people prefer Prelude to Ecstasy, as it's just the boom, the magnum opus, amazing debut record, and then they have to try and follow it up. And I'm surprised they followed it up only a year later. Maybe they could have had a bit more time to add a little bit more to the songs, I don't know, but there's cool little instrumentation I quite like in some of the opening tracks, which is decent. Tracks like Rifle was one that pulled me away. I like the energy on that one. Woman is a Tree is actually interesting as well, and even Sail Away and the Scythe aren't that bad either. I feel like this is kind of just the direction I'd rather see them start off with, and maybe they could incorporate some of the Prelude to Ecstasy sound, but if I'm being completely honest, I kind of prefer the From the Pyre. But I will also need to say I'm not even that big on it either. Just kind of a lukewarm feeling when I come to this. At least it's not at least it's got more consistency. There's actually not really a track I'd skip if I had to. I think going back into it, if I had to listen to this album, I'll just play it from start to end. I feel like I can do that compared to it. And yeah, I don't think the writing though. I feel like the writing, lyrics at least, are stronger on the first album. They're not quite as strong here, but that's okay, as I do generally think From the Pyre still manages to hold up into the same realm as what the previous album had. And yeah, I'm just surprised, to be honest. I know I kind of ragged on Last in the Pie last year, but I can safely say the top 50 worst albums of 2025 won't have Last in the Pie. There has been a bunch of stinkers, so yeah, it is safe. It is safe. I can guarantee you it won't be mentioned after this year, so that's fine. But yeah, not too bad actually. I think if anything, Rifle and This Is the Killer Speaking might be some of my favourite songs from them in general. I feel like I can safely say, while I enjoy tracks like Sinner from their debut, I do feel like these tracks are like stronger than anything, including that on there. So if anything, I'm happy that it's a bit more of an improvement in my eyes, even if it's a kind of a downgrade for many. But can't say I'm like big eat on it either. I'll say it's alright. 2.5 out of 5. It's fine. I just guess maybe I'm in a better mood to listen to it. But anyway, hope you all enjoy. Thanks so much for watching, and see you next video.